And I had to apologize on behalf of my profession. That physicians have really fallen on our face, and they have refused to listen to patients when they come in with vaccine injury symptoms.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a medical doctor going on television and apologizing on behalf of his entire profession over many doctors refusing to listen to patients when they say, hey, you know what? I just got the vaccine for C-19 and now I'm injured. I'm experiencing this problem and that problem and that problem. And then they say, oh, no, don't worry about it. That's nothing. You don't really experience that. That's nothing. It's a mild thing. We are now realizing that there are some very, very, very serious side effects as it relates to the vax. We have the CDC and other alphabet letter organizations looking into it, seeing if there's a link between stroke and cancer and this and that as it relates to the vaccine. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. And of course, if you want to see this clip in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, link in the bio and go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
My next guest, a physician from Roseville, California, says that he's treated more than 4,000 COVID patients. And of those, he says hundreds experience vaccine-related injuries, including chest pain, cancer, and in women, menstrual irregularity, and even pregnancy loss. Dr. Michael Huang joins me now. Dr. Huang, thanks for being with us tonight. In your 20-plus years as a practicing physician, how many vaccine-related injuries did you come across before the COVID shot became available?
Before the pandemic, before the COVID vaccine vaccination program, I've seen maybe one or two adult vaccine-related injury, and they were mild. And I had to apologize on behalf of my profession. That physicians have really fallen on our face, and they have refused to listen to patients when they come in with vaccine injury symptoms and basically just assume that it doesn't exist.
And you know what? I want to add on to that. Not only was it the doctors, some doctors, you also have the media and politicians involved with it. For example, you have some doctors that say, hey, you know what? You don't need this particular thing to help with the vax to prevent from getting it or whatever. How about this or how about that? Remember the whole thing with ivermectin talking about, oh, that's horse paste and HCQ is fish tank cleaner, all that kind of stuff. So the mainstream media and some of these quacks calling themselves doctors who parrot the mainstream media's narrative, they're also to blame here, not just your regular everyday primary care physician who was probably brainwashed by the same media that we were all consuming. Many of us did not get brainwashed by it, but a lot of people, including doctors, obviously did get brainwashed by that false media. Let's keep on going.
So before the discovery of germ theory, there's a Hungarian physician, doctor, obstetrician that he had basically discovered if you were just to wash our hands, that would reduce birth-related mother death by about 100%. And no one would listen to him because people just didn't believe that there is actually germs that can cause childbirth-related death.
Yeah. So once again, we're ignoring the real-world experience of physicians on the front line treating patients. We're dismissing what they're seeing with their own eyes in favor of a medical cartel. Yes. That's what we call them, that are just decreeing this is how it shall be. Doctor, this week the Florida Surgeon General put out an official health alert saying that since the COVID vaccine was released, there's been a 1,700% increase in the vaccine adverse event reporting system. So, Doctor, should the government be recommending COVID shots or boosters of any kind to any American today, given the risk-benefit analysis that we pretty much understand at this point?
Great question.
Sure, Laura. If you get sick, you don't call CDC or FDA for recommendations. If my patient gets sick in California, they don't call Dr. Gavin Newsom for treatment recommendations. Government should let doctor practice medicine. So what the Florida's report has indicated as far as the high number of COVID vaccine injury, it's true. Various websites for years and years has tracked vaccine injuries. On average, about 180 deaths will be contributed from the vaccine yearly. That's about 10 to 12 vaccine-related deaths per month. The first month of COVID-19 vaccine program got started, there were over 180 deaths reported. We should have seen that clear signal that something needs to be stopped.
Should the shot be mandated, given what we know now about the shot? Should it even be available to people at this point?
Absolutely not. Looking at the potential.
So you have a doctor, and it's not just him, Mr. Michael Huang. It's a lot of people. A lot of doctors say the exact same thing. And when I say doctor, I don't mean like Dr. Seuss, Dr. Jill Biden, or anything like that. I'm talking about actual doctors on the front lines treating patients with the bug. So if they're telling you, hey, you know what, they shouldn't be recommending you get the vaccine. And what was the purpose in even mandating that anyway? Now we can look back on it. Hindsight being 2020 for me, my foresight was 2020, but that's a different story, and I digress. The point is, what was the purpose in mandating that, especially now knowing what we know now? We know that if you get the shot, it does not prevent you from catching it or spreading it. And I just saw something recently, like the other day, it might have been on like NBC News, saying that catching the virus gives you as much protection as the shot. And if they're saying that on NBC News, but the reality is that catching the virus will definitely help you exponentially more than the shot will, especially when you weigh in all the potential side effects of the actual shot itself. Let's keep on going here.
And the high risk of adverse event, it doesn't matter if it's 1 in 1,000, 1 in 100 is too high. If you come to me with an illness, I need to use tool A, B, C, and D to treat you. And vaccine, yes, can be one of those tools. It's way down on the list. We need to look at what needs to be done. We got to do it right away. We got to act first. We got to look at who is at risk for injury and tease that out, and not just a blanket approach that can injure a lot of people.
All right, Dr. Huang, we really appreciate your joining us. I know you're under attack in California with their new disinformation law going into effect, but we're with you all the way. Thank you so much.
There you have it. Shout out to Dr. Wayne for coming on TV out there, especially being out there in California. I know that's going to be a tall task to speak against the vax religion. But as I close, I want to say this. I hope more and more doctors come out on television, come out wherever they are, come out against the medical cabal, the medical cartel, and speak truth to power. Say what's really going on. We know what's happening with these vaccines. They're causing injuries. It's not me saying anything that would be controversial. This is just a fact. Okay? We have data from the federal government. We have data and anecdotes from doctors, nurses, everybody else, from people who have been vaccinated. We know what's going on. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Dr. Huang's testimony about there being so many vax injuries, and apologizing on behalf of the entire profession, because many doctors refuse to believe a patient when they say, hey, you know what? I just got this vax and now I'm experiencing this. Now I'm experiencing that. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. You guys should know where I'm at. I think what he said right there was right on point. And I want more guys and girls who are in his position, whether it be doctor, nurse, whatever. I want more people just like him to come out and say what's really going on, because many of us don't really want to hear it unless it comes from a quote unquote reliable source. You know, whatever the government says, you believe it. If your doctor says something, you believe it. What about that doctor and that doctor and that doctor? I mean, do you always just go for the first opinion, like second opinion, third opinion from a doctor to see what's really going on, rather than just accepting that this shot will solve whatever kind of problems you have? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.